Oh, don't stare. How would you look after eons in some ghastly crypt? Your people are rather prone to death. Mine are not. Yet when I emerged from my completely unjustified imprisonment, I found them gone. Our culture forgotten. Any trace of the world I knew all but obliterated. I must even hide my true face beneath an ever-shifting mask for fear you savages will attack me. That is how I wander this strange world, trying to uncover the truth about a history you primitive people never even knew existed.
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared. And sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead, I became part of their story.
So, still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry. The sedative will wear off soon enough. Easy now. No need to hurry. Get your bearings and report to me upstairs.
Well now, aren't you a curious sight? If I'd had a mask to hide my bones as well as yours, where'd you get it? There can't be many curios like that in the world. Is that a fact? And your voice? I've never heard such silken tones from a naked skull. How much do you think I get out? All I know is there are more like you. Well, not quite like you. But sorcerers collared on this tub, all heading to Fort Joy. Beyond that, your guess is as good as mine. Still, you'd best keep that mask on. The living don't take...
Something has changed. You are you, but more. You are another. You look to your hands, your belly, your feet. Flesh you don't know, molded into unfamiliar shapes. Your fingers trace a line from your head to your face, feeling not the creases of the mask, but the porous...
An animal sty. Freight or food?
Shaking her fluffy coat, the sheep eyes you balefully, her rectangular eyes like letterboxes to the void. With one...
Why, you're looking a bit more chipper. Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly enough. Nice bit of work. There you are. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Why? Because we're at sea, of course.
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a...
My word. You do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. A new life awaits. And if you're a particularly good boy, perhaps a cure as well.
Good gods, there's been a murder here.
Why won't you sing?
I forgot how to sing. I did. Ah, there you are. Husband. Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not-at-all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergic. How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de P. What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? You'd presume right. Nope, trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better. Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You take care, though.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel sneer. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear.
Good luck, Chief.
Well, well, what have we here?
The lizard look. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
My, we are fierce, aren't we? Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this, in which case I take it your cuisine is limited to the introduction of eggs to hot water. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor? Oh, but to feel the caress of satin on my scarlet skin once more. A most on then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The very basics, then. I suppose that's a start. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. As per your own testimony, you can tailor and groom, but you have the taste buds of a dung beetle. Still, beggars can't be choosers. So without further ado, I offer you my sincerest... Of course you accept. Mine wasn't an offer, it was an order. Anyway, you may leave me for a moment. We'll go over your...
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, boy. You hear that?
He turns his head toward you, looking you up and down, and smiles before turning his attention to the ship once more.
You look like a boy to me. Listen if you're interested, or get gone if you aren't. The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom...
And?
The fellow cocks his ear. Listen.
That isn't anger, it's...
He cocks his ear to the other side, then...
Anticipation. She senses something. I'd hold on to my breeches if that's all you hear, though. Listen close. There now, just like that.
Squeak!
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with him.
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back.
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, boy. Good news. It's the wheel. The wheel. Don't you see, you beautiful idiot? Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east. Burn my beard. That means if we've been travelling for... Yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy. Ah, so you've eyes as well as ears, eh? You'll go far, mate. Even here. No indeed, boy. But that ain't my final destination.
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily.
That'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you...
Here to register, sir. Good, good. Magister William, you faring okay so far? Of course I do. Seems Voidwalk can dog your heels like a shadow. That's no way to live, is it? You'll see. We're gonna help you. You head on in now. Williams will get you short.
One of us keep those bubbles trained on her.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you...
There are others whose lives must...
Good God! The woman! You there! Sorcerer! Go and fetch Magister Siwan! We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around.
She reaches for her collar and simply...
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her men, quickly! If she casts Source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precise.
Mask. She stole it. If these savages see me without it, they will have my skull for a goblet.
Damn. That doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards.
Thank the gods. By divine grace, who was that?
He eyes the collar circling your neck.
Another sorcerer! Like you don't know? Mutiny! Did that witch fix your collar too? Go on then. Find a place to hide.
Long before this thing snaps into splinters. Great gods! Something's pounding on the hull.
The marking on the door was you press your palm against the door. It doesn't budge. approach the door, greyness seeps into your bones. You are... The door groans open, but an ashen...
Death fog? Good thing I'm immune. Still, this means trouble.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes.
You said there were other people down there.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you! There's a ladder right over there.
You're gonna be the death of us, you hear?
Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding from a dire...
Would sink the ship on my watch. I'll yield to none.
I thought Voidwoken was supposed to be scary. Let the games begin.
Tub is about to burst.
I hear something. It's Magister Seal. Sounds like she needs help.
Wait! We need to wait!
Gods! That thing! There's no time.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Orivan.
Well, that was decidedly unpleasant. Am I the lone survivor? Depending on one's definition of survivor, of course.
Void Woken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn. They made it to shore. Bloody collars were supposed to keep those things at bay. I'm fading! Void Woken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn. They made it to shore. Bloody collars were supposed to keep those things at bay. Drowned and eaten by a Void Woken. I wonder in which order.
You spot a strange lizard, gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. His skin is of a bright, blood-red colour. Could he be... Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist. You lock eyes with his, two smouldering embers that sizzle your very soul.
I did survive, yes. And chances are I wouldn't have, had you not returned to the aid of your fellow passengers down in that dreadful hold. You have my gratitude.
Hand over heart, he salutes you with a bob of the head. More than a nod, though less than a bow.
Yes, I'm sure you've all the makings of a hero and all that, but let's not. Nevertheless, one good turn does deserve another, so as far as the whole slave business is concerned, let's just forget about it. You may as well have your freedom. Now then, if there's nothing further... If you really must know, I haven't quite decided yet. I've a frightful amount of things on my mind, hence my standing here contemplating the waves.
He sighs dramatically.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? Touché.
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil moments pass as the waves lap against your thought.
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see an empire. I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Of course, it's rather specific. Quite obviously, I'm musing over the very actual empire that I lost.
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he stares at you with utter incredulity.
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am? The very same. I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror, the World-Tamer, the Spouse of the Sun. Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between all-conquering and world-taming opportunities at the moment. The grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. And truly, a kind offer indeed. And you've already proven to be trustworthy enough. You came back for the others on that ship, after all. Fine, I accept. On one condition. For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative. I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Jolly good. Oh, my word. How you do us. Come now, did you really think a handful of linen towels can fool me? But don't worry. I have studied the arcane arts for years, including necromancy and demonology. I do not hold the petty prejudices of common folks. In fact, I prefer... So, now that that's settled, first things first. Even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, that our swords will be doing a lot of the talking from here on out goes without saying. As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic, and yes, wizardry is embedded in my nature as deeply as the instincts to breathe and drink and mate. The dominion over fire suits me best, truth be told, but there is no scoop. Very well. Onwards, then, to victory or...
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicately between courtesy and contempt.
Now, as you're aware, you'll be travelling with a prince. Proper forms of address include your... As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be required to carry my belongings. Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it you'll pick up the rest as we go. So...
Ah, hello, small, furry...
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey.
What? How did I get... Hey, stop following me. Huh? Yeah, fine. I'm fine. I just...
The cat opens his mouth as if to speak, but his eyes lose focus. The cat's eyes are clouded and grey.
What's...
Stay back, sorcerer, and stay silent. Our Godwoken speaks.
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape, Atusa. We have proof.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander. I know nothing of any escapees.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, your tongue is of no use.
This can't be serious, Alexander. Come!
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
Stay silent, you!
Atusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her dagger to its root. Her eyes squeeze shut.
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would be disappointed in you, Atusa. To think you would lie to his only son, your bishop, and your friend these many years. The fate of our realm hangs in the balance. If you will not help us save it, then you will help the Void, Dallas.
Yes, Your Holiness?
I believe we're done here.
What a waste. Come, we'll be needed elsewhere.
Man, I can't wait all day. Come on, old man. I can't wait all day. Where is he? Where is he? I told him at noon exactly, didn't I?
got my eye on you, Scaly. Don't try any of that sauce business on my watch, or I'll do to you what the hammer did to that traitor. Well, that's true now, isn't it? With that little ring around your neck, you can't conjure so much as a boo. Like a bishop's the son of the dead divine. Don't know when we'll get a new one, but Alexander's looking after us in the meantime. And the hammer's a solid sort. Don't take no guff and don't stand for no idling. Earned that name for a reason, she did. When you give up the darkness that's inside you, take your fault, it's there. They're working on a cure for you even now. Got some good leads, so I hear. You can trust Dallas during the time of Lucian, of course. Who wouldn't join up with God himself? He was all glory, all goodness. When we lost him, well, it only made sense to see his will through. Can't for certain, but I reckon when God himself gives his life to protect you, you don't waste the gift. You protect, so that's what we do. Lucian gave his life to protect Rivellon. If we let the Voidwoken get to it now, well, we'd have lost him for nothing. Fort Joy ain't no summer camp. No one said it were, but it's the best we've got to protect the realm.
Did you see them, sir? Bishop Alexander and the Hammer herself, they were so close, almost within arm's reach. A kin, is it? A traitor cannot be murdered. A traitor can only receive their due. Doubly so for a lizard traitor. It's a pity she couldn't die twice. Easy enough to say in times of peace, but look around. We're standing on the edge of the end. The Voidwoken are coming, Scale Shedder. And it's only the Divine Order that can protect us.
Come on then, Legsy. Pay up.
You! Help me teach this beast. He must respect. If not, he comes for you next.
Respect? Huh. Someone's got to keep this place running. Griff can't do it for free. Why'd you gotta make this so hard?
An intense-looking man steps between the thug and the elf and rolls up his sleeves, revealing well-muscled and heavily scarred arms.
Just stand aside, won't you, mate? This is no business of yours.
Lone wolves decide their own business.
The thug freezes in fear for a moment before shuffling back to the...
Pay up, elf. No one shorts Griff. Especially not one of you.
The intense-looking man stands beside you against the thug. Burrow looks you both up and down, sizing up your combined threat.
Ah, get out of here. The both of you. You ain't worth the sweat of my brow.
The elf smiles and bows to you in thanks.
Follow me, before more of them trouble us. There is a safe place.
The man rolls his sleeves back down. He nods at you, the shadow of a smile on his lips.
Good work there. Good work. I can tell you've got chops.
He stretches out one rough hand to shake yours. He grips your hand tight as a vice and pauses. His fingertips feel your finger bones. His eyes narrow, but a moment later...
Good to meet you, lad. Say, you don't look all that busy. I could use someone to watch my back, and it looks like you could use someone to watch yours. I've just got a small errand to run, and then I'll be looking to get the hell out of here, while I've still got a neck to collar. How about we stick together?
He shrugs, looking off to the side.
Mercenaries. It's a job. My job. The usual way. Haphazard, terrifying, and drenched in blood. Haven't quite worked out the details yet, but I'll wager it'll be no worse than what'll happen if we stay put. 2 heads are better than 1.
He grins, sharp teeth clip.
So, before we hit the road, It's best if we decide battle strategies up front. Survival's my main priority. I'll use every trick in the book to keep us alive. But if a wayfarer's not what good's an outlaw who can't command the shadows? I've dabbled enough to know I've an affinity for the darker arts. But I'm a quick learner. What's your preference? Can do. Onwards.
He scans the horizon for threats with one green eye.
Right you are. Lead.
You there. You've just arrived, isn't that right? Are you...
Cowrie, cockle, here you are. I wonder what keeps you. Tell me your tale. Ah, your tongue is not my tongue. Elves speak of here and now, not then and when. These words strike us strangely. Start from the beginning. I see. Now tell me more. Tell me what you do. I understand. Now tell me how your story ends. To draw back the veil and see the truth is no simple task. We can see the things we lose, not with our eyes, but with our hearts. It is nothing. Many fragments swirl on my shore. See what I gather.
The woman looks out on the gently lapping waves. She seems totally at peace.
Haven't seen you around here before. New? Well, you here alone?
She gives you a look.
You think twice about facing this mean world alone, eh? Someone to drink to in the evenings. Some of us haven't got anyone at all. It's nothing. If I haven't used to be, I had a family. A husband and a little boy. Then they brought us here. I couldn't stop them from taking my boys from me when they did. Reckon they were cured. Now I'm just waiting for him to call my name. Waiting and remember.
Her eyes sparkle.
Kind of you to ask. Stefan, he was my little one. Smart as a whip and no less wicked. And my husband, he was called...
She talks for some time about birthdays, about Felix's prickly beard, about the skunk Stefan once dragged home for a pet. Joy radiates from her as she remembers.
What a gift to think of them. I'd like to give something to you too. A family recipe. One of Felix's, but take care of yourself.
Not an attempt, Matt. Time's up, Your Highness. It's stabbing time.
Glory is mine.
Ah!
these assassins are. It's their frightful manners I mind the most, really.
Patience, Mal. Patience.
Well, that was rather fun, wasn't it? I do find it ever so invigorating to cut a cutthroat's throat. Oh, one gets used to this kind of thing so quickly. This is hardly the first time someone's filled some poor fool's purse and bid him kill the prince. I'll tell you what, though. Whomever wants me out of the picture will have to do a lot better if they seek to get the better of me. All those bumblers they've sent so far mark a mere insult to my swordsmanship.
Tired of the view in here yet?
Ifan shrugs off his backpack and reaches into its depths. After rummaging around, he holds out a tattered page to you, upon which you can see a broken wax seal in the shape of a wolf's paw.
Have a read of my contract and find out. So, time to find this Boris fellow. You've read my contract. What does that look in your eye mean? Maybe.
He sniffs the wind, gazing out across the dilapidated building.
But maybe it's going to work out. I've got a contract, a man on the inside, and now you. Good to know. And likewise.
Comes it out all dilly-eyed. You say he likes it, but come on, you stubborn hunk of garbage.
The dwarf's fingers clamp around a splintered chunk of wood nailed to the skeleton of an old ship.
Ah! Got two of my own, haven't I?
The dwarf spits into each of his calloused palms and rubs them together before placing them both back.
Bleeding nail must be charmed or something. Go on then, give...
You grab the plank and pull. The rusted nail pops loose, and the plank promptly crumbles to...
Oh, look at that. Nice of you to finish the job after I... loosened her up.
He winks and flips a gold coin toward you. It makes a long, high arc, glinting in the sun, and
For your trouble. I suppose it were a fool's errand thinking I could make something out of this heap, but I couldn't help myself from trying.
He sucks a finger and holds it up to the wind, testing the breeze.
Winds like these, she would have capsized before she reached the break.
He gives you a wry look, as though...
Aye, was planning to build me a raft and paddle off. I've got business north of here. in a town called Driftwood. Far be it from me to miss an appointment. Why don't we make a deal then? You help me get out of this place, and I'll do... Ah, it's this spit.
He lifts an invisible cap and bows with the grace of a courtier.
Pleased to make your acquaintance. The name's... well, the name's dead and buried. What matters is what they call me. Beast. May have been cast out, but you can bet your last heel of breed she wishes she hadn't have. I've taken my revenge 1,000-fold on that tyrant's fleet. A case? A whole orchard, more like. Justinia went absolutely cuckoo with power, and it's the people who are paying the price. No sense getting riled up about it now. It's not about me, it's about... Anyhow, we're a team now, so the me is not half as important as the us. Let's get down to brass tacks. I've been up and down the realm so often it'd make your cabbage spin, and I picked up a few tricks. You've been around as long as I have, you pick up a thing or two. What do you have in mind? Then it's settled. Capital! Well, that's that sorted. Onward then. I've got to get out of here, and soon. And I suppose you do too. Ah, well. My best mate's son is undead. Nothing to be ashamed of. Now, onward!
Patience, Mal. Patience.
Amid the squalor of Fort George, she was among the sorcerers. Her eyes are focused on a lizard some distance. No sooner have these words left your mouth than she turns about and grabs you in a stranglehold. You feel the tip of a long needle being...
You caught me off guard. No one catches me off guard. Not so very far from home, I'm sure. This is the...
A push, a pivot, and now you suddenly, despite the precariousness of your situation...
Let me tell you, once upon a bad old time. But now I'm free. Of sorts. And I've traced that I intend to raise the subject with him.
She drives the needle in...
In truth, it does not matter. That makes you a liability. That makes you...
A bright sparkle of laughter follows...
Ha! How amusing. I'd make your case and do it quickly. Why should I join you? Escape. Well, oh, little needle mine, what should I do? Push? You know what? Today is a rather fine day. Sunshine and I'm not quite sure the weather will save.
With a casual flick of the wrist, she withdraws the needle from your...
Yes, the needle did find you rather tough to chew. Nothing it can't... This may strike you as, rather
She tilts her head ever so slightly and looks at you almost mockingly.
Yeah. Let's discuss our respect. You, me, and Death will be playing many a round of hide and seek. So, as a rogue, my speciality is stealth. But of course, I can play the strings of magic like a harpist. It suits me fine. Lead on, or better than follow me. But wait, you seem to have quite a few followers already. We'll be far too conspicuous traveling in a caravan like that.
So, this is Fort Joy.
Surely you'll have one.
What a crumbling disaster.
Oh.
I've got that special shipment you was asking after. Got it.
Do excuse me, ever so tired.
Just as you're about to address the lizard...
This man is a dreamer. As you know, I need a word with him. You may wait here. Permission indeed.
He bids the dreamer stand up and pay it. The dreamer then chews and swallows a handful of druid. He falls asleep. To your surprise, the Red Prince lies down and follows suit. The Red Prince pinches the bridge of his nose in apparent irritation before turning his back on the jabbering dreamer. You receive a withering glance in response.
A deserved bit of sarcasm, I suppose. But though this sting-tailed fellow may be a less than stellar specimen in the firmament of dreamers, turns out I'm being hunted by an enemy I didn't know actually existed. The dreamers, though, they're on my side. And they've visions of me on the throne. Of course it is. I was born with the promise of an empire, but to keep it I must find a second dreamer. A greater. Bahara is her name, and she resides in the swamplands east of the fort. So, let us make our escape.
You know, I could tell you all about swamp dreamers too if I chewed that much Druidine.
What took you so long? I'm ready to take up arms if you are. But you've still too many with you. Do something about that.
The dog focuses at the cat at your feet, baring its teeth and growling.
leave him be. Don't make... Listen, I can help... Shut up, elf. This clown caught him stealing from my kitchen. Still won't say where he stashed my supplies. Sound like someone you'd let off with a slap. Caught him red-handed trying to make off with a second crate after he took supplies. Crate of food, citrus in particular. He'll talk, or he'll die quiet. Alls I want is my supplies. Happy to let this clown die in a gutter instead of my kitchen. Bring back my crate.
What took you so long?
Like you wanted.
Got it.
Griff glances from his blade to you and back again. Griff tears into one of the oranges with both hands. Juice squirts through his hands as he desperately rips through.
Looks like everything's accounted for. Now the important question.
He raises an eyebrow.
Looks like someone did my job for. Your guy's free to go. He should be fine.
An elf, caked in mud and blood, looks up at you from the bottom of the cage. He holds his shoulder at
You believe what he says? That I am a thief? Perceptive. Like most men behind bars, I'm innocent. Some people settle in. They don't go poking around. Not you. Griff tells you, does he not? I take his supplies, but I don't take what I tell you what I know. But first, I want to make a trade. I know a way out. I show you, and you. Finally, Griff releases me if he sees I do not have what he misses. After I am free, you are free. Thank you. It is done. And quickly. I hold my end of the bargain. I show you the way out. But I have something more to ask of you. Yes, I... Sahela. She is everything. A ruler, a seer. It is for all our people. For the world. Give me your map. I show you.
I give you this amulet. You must pass it to the elves who still remain. Tell them,
I go to her. I wish...
Here's the goods. Like you wanted.
Keep it down, will you?
the beasts.
Ifan strides up to the Magister, speaking in a calm and controlled voice. Though you can't hear what he whispers, the Magister's face turns whiter than...
Go! I'll give you the information. Here.
Ifan catches you looking over at him. He raises his eyebrows.
What?
He barks a laugh, then shakes his head sheepishly.
I wanted some information. That Magister wanted to negotiate. I negotiated. Oh, it's just practice. All in the way you set your jaw, lad. I'll teach you someday. I only do it when it's necessary. And it was necessary back there. He wanted me to kill someone. I didn't want to kill them. Being a little impolite seemed the least bad option. That's about the size of it for me, all right. And now that we agree...
After reading the scrap of paper he took from the Magister, Ifan marks a spot on your map and looks out to...
hungry. Oh, Emmy. Oh, Emmy. Oh, Emmy. I'm hungry. Oh, Emmy. Oh, Emmy. I'm hungry. Oh, Emmy. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.